Uh-oh, I froze up. Oh, there we go. Hey, everybody, welcome to
Yeah,
the
you got
Ace.
some good internet there
I
today,
know
buddy.
my goodest internet is working awesome today. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Aces 53 with Ed Parcaut and myself, Brian Galke. What does Aces 53 stand for? When Ed was in college, he had a professor who was talking about the Aces is attitude, commitment, enthusiasm, and smile. And why the 53? Well, there's 52 cards in the deck. And then you have the best hand you can have is 4 aces and then a joker. So what do we have on Tuesdays? It's just Ed and I. And then on some Thursdays, we have a joker, which is a special guest that has a talent or a skill to share with y'all that help them be successful. So how you doing today, Ed?
I'm doing good. It's Tuesday, so this weekend my Broncos won for the 3rd time for the season. Woo!
You're just excited to go get candy, right? So you can say it's for the kids.
Candy.
And then
I don't get candy. I'm fat enough. I don't need candy. I don't need candy. I'm fat enough as it is.
See, I get I still have a little one, so I get to do the dad tax,
Right.
where you dig through their candy, make sure it's safe.
You don't want this? You sure you want this?
Right.
Yeah. So take another bag for the baby that's not there. Have you seen that? Where they like, oh, it's for the baby.
No,
the baby doesn't eat freaking candy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the weather
is. What's pretty sad is the last week at the event you were at in the green room,
right?
You were better with less, with your internet than you are today.
I'm telling you, I've tried everything here. So I got Comcast is the only one that the HOA signed into here. And I told them, I'm like, you're signing a bad deal. So they paid Comcast $5,000 to run the fiber to here and then sign a 5-year contract saying that every unit here will use Comcast. I'm like, they should pay to run it because you're getting a 5-year guarantee out of 18 units. And I tried to tell them that. I said, hey, I used to be in that industry. And they're like, oh, no, the HOA person told us it's a really good deal. Well, come to find out, Comcast, it doesn't matter. I had the Verizon 5G unit here in my house, and I have them wired in, and I still can't get better than like 30 up. I can get good download speeds, 600-700 meg, but upload 30 meg. Doesn't matter if it's the 5G, doesn't matter if it's wired.
MPS.
They just don't have the same technology as AT&T.
No, and I know that because I dealt with this at the office, and I went with the 1 gig and 1 gig, and what a nightmare. What a totally different. It changed, and I'm doing some rearranging, and I have to move that business to my house for temporarily till I get the new space. And they're like, would you like the 2 gig or the 5 gig now? I was like, I only had it installed 3 months ago, and you said the max I could do is 1 gig. And they're like, oh, you now have it. Because the guy told me when he installed it, all they had to do is change this little piece of equipment, and you would get up to 5 gig here, up and down. I'm like, I want the 5 gig, please.
I don't understand why Comcast didn't run fiber. If they're running it to 18 units guaranteed,
Comcast it has nothing to do with that. That's their max. They're all about download for gaming, not they don't know the new. Hey, we do video and we need the demands of the video.
Yeah.
The video star.
It's a shame. It's a shame. So
we're here bitching about internet. Yeah. Well, the internet's fine. It's just the upload, download. It really matters now. Because even 100 and 100 is better than 1 gig and 40 MPSs or less. So,
well, and to your point, when I go to upload, it's weird how it's StreamYard also causing it to be a little bit blurry compared to Zooms are completely fine. So it's a combination of technologies, I think.
Yeah, but anyway, here's the things. If you have it recording, and I'm going to put this out there with StreamYard. If you have it recording on both sides, on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, and YouTube, it looks good.
Right.
Just here, when we're in the studio, it looks grainy to us. Even when it's live and you're doing it, you're like, oh, that's horrible. Because I was doing this one, I do a rotary one on Tuesdays at 5 p.m., 5220 live. And that guy's horrible internet in his office. And he's constantly grainy and all this stuff. And I look over at Facebook so I can be the one person watching. And I'm like, wow, that actually looks really good.
Right.
Unless you click on it, it doesn't count. So
yeah.
Good. Sorry if you hear. I have new employees at the office. They speak a different language. So
they're your spirit animals down there just sleeping.
Yeah, George is snoring like nobody's business. Don't bother me.
Yeah, no, leave me alone. Yeah. All right, so what are we going to talk about today, Ed?
you know, I've been talking about this for the last week that I finally found, and I had him on Thursday. And sorry, we had a little problem getting it to go for us to talk at 10. We ended up talking about 1 p.m. I apologize for the regular listeners who are always here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific and 12 Central that we were late that day. I apologize. But he talked about how he believed in how he looked at marketing. It was the same way he climbed Mount Fuji twice, the base, and then as he went up and he got above the clouds, and when he saw and he related to that way. I mean, for me, it was. I'm glad it works for him. I was like, I get the relation, but it took too long to get there with the story. You follow me? Yeah. So if anybody didn't, I mean, great story, but it's just like, you know, I'm one of those guys. Let's get to the point. Where do we got? And it's funny because he's that way too, but he was telling the story, and it was nice to have him on. And he talked about how he was a carpet cleaner and now he does this, and he does a good job. I know we talked about that. Carpet cleaners do everything.
Yep. It is funny how people that are in that job seem to be successful afterwards in doing,
because they have to
internet related things.
Right. Well, he's like, well, I needed to get clients, and nobody had it. And so in 2019, you know, he really found high level, and he normally goes. He went to the one earlier this year. He couldn't go this year because it was his anniversary. He had been married for 1 year, so it was kind of bad to be gone.
On that note, I did crash Go High Level last week, and Joel, who's been our guest, was there. So I went to lunch with him and Henry Sims, and so they were loving it. They said that Go High Level outdid even what was there last year. And I saw several people in the lobby. So what I do, I put on the vest, go over there, and I just went and sat in the coffee shop because I didn't have a ticket to the event, which I could walk through the hallways. I just couldn't go into a room, right? But so I ended up meeting up with several people that I knew that I didn't know were going to be there. But it was apparently a phenomenal event again. But when I got there, it was Wednesday. So that meant 2 VIP nights. And so many people were just struggling because of the open bar the night before. So I was giving them, one of the guys I know out here owns an IV shop. And so I was giving them all his number. So it wasn't Henry and Joel. But
do you have to go there? Do you have to go there, or do they come to you for that?
No,
IV?
They'll come to you. As a matter of fact, I suggested to Rob and Alex that next year they have an IV company there, because you get a bunch of marketers who all work from home. They get around each other, and what do? They just go hard on the drinks.
I know, but you don't want to promote that because what if something happens?
What
if you have that there?
Right.
And then they go, you had these people there. This happened because they were there. It's just one of those.
No, what you do is you make them buy a booth just like everybody else. So you don't sponsor it. You just
I just want to, be careful. Yeah, be careful how you do it.
Oh, they're at all the events that are here in Dallas locally. What they'll do is they'll have a booth. Now, what some of them have gotten good about is, for example, like Ryan Stuman, at his events, he has them in the room where the speakers are. So you can sit back while there's somebody giving a 45-minute keynote. You can get your IV done at the exact same time. And he's done it for his last few events. And that's how I actually know the guy who's the owner now.
Is you needed it a few times.
Well, because when they gave him to the speakers, and I'm like, well, why not? Right. When you got done speaking, you got to go back and get one in the green room. And then they had one for all the attendees also. So last year, when I wasn't a speaker, I just went and sat, and they had these little reclining chairs. And you just sat back, and they got you going. So,
I know how IV works too, but thanks.
I know.
And they better not jab you like that, because that would be the wrong way in.
You never know.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem.
That could be the problem. But anyway, so Go High Level had a good event. There were 3 here, 2 locally last week. One was some girls that live locally started one called CEO AF, and that's their kind of tribe, their group.
AF is as fuck.
Yep, exactly. And so they had.
What happens when that's out of style?
What's that?
It said when that's out of style, you're going to drop it, or what?
That's a good question. I think it'll always be around as long as what's his name from First Form. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? I just saw. I watch YouTube in the morning when I get up.
Congratulations,
Andy Frisella. So as long as he's around, I think it'll always be there. But you never know.
Yeah. Well, I saw them. Were you at their event?
That was Monday, Tuesday. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Wednesday I stopped by Go High Level, and then Thursday I took off to Nashville.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And Nashville, you were doing your singing tour.
Yes, that's exactly it. Now I was a keynote along with Janine Driver. So I did. There was a lot of good speakers there.
Was that real estate one?
No, this is one by a guy named Jim Morris. It was his first time to ever throw one. So it's called Impact Effect 23. And his whole goal was all the speakers had to be vetted and we weren't allowed to pitch at all. He's like, you come in, you give tactical information to my people, and then we are agreed to all come back at a future date for Q&A. And so they had Tim Story, Michael Burt, or Coach Burt, for people who know him. Some newer people that I've never met, but were really good. One guy named Jamie Miller. He talks about how do you communicate with people? How do you talk to them? How do you phrase questions? They had a variety of speakers. And I forgot. So Thursday morning, Rene Rodriguez, if you know who he is, he had his AmpCon here in Dallas. So I went to that from 8 to noon, then went to the airport and flew to Nashville. Even the first few speakers he brought on were absolutely phenomenal. A guy I'd seen once before, but I didn't know who he was. His name is Clinton Sparks. He's a DJ. He set up all the rappers. He found a bunch of people like, who did he say found? DJ Snake and some other people, but he's been in videos with Ludacris and all them. He was out there. They had Michael Ford, F-O-A-R-D, who was one of the biggest guys in advertising for a very long time. Of course, Renee spoke, his fiance spoke. It was a good event from when I was there. But what I really liked is, it's a good event when other local speakers pay to be there as well. And I mean, in the audience to learn from them. So I think have you met Sam Taggart? Okay, so Sam was out there, Amberly Lago was there, Ryan Stuman was there, Brian Covey. We're all sitting in the audience to learn from the other speakers. And it was just a really, really good event.
Well, you always want to learn from other people, see what you're not doing, what you're not saying, because you can always make it yours.
But, some people will never, if they're like, well, if I'm not speaking, I'm not going.
I know, but it depends on how they call them out too, right? Depending on who the people are, because they might go, look, even so-and-so's in the audience and I'm training, that's stupid shit. Cause I've had that happen with somebody else, Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Don't take credit for somebody that you don't deserve to have credit for. And I know what you're talking about, because we both heard the story of a mutual
I was there.
Oh, you were there when it happened?
Yeah.
There you go. So for people who don't know, there was a mutual
move on. No, move on. We don't, they don't need to know.
Story.
No, we don't need, no.
Yeah.
You don't need to call out who it was. That's just,
no, I'm not going to call out who it was. It's just to prove your point. Somebody was having an event and saw somebody else was there and made it out like that person came in to learn from them. And it wasn't a true story. And so that burned the bridges with a lot of people who are like, see, that's shady marketing. So no, I wasn't going to mention who it was. No point in that.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
But it brings us back to what we're going to talk about today, which is communication and networking.
You said networking, and I said communication, because how I started this whole conversation that you took it away from was the guy was on a high level we had last week, and how he looked at marketing and how important, and he always looks at the whole customer, and he's doing stuff for me still, and he's like, how come this is not going anywhere? How come on your speaker page you don't have this? How come you don't have this? How come you don't have this? How come you don't have this? I go, I don't know. He goes, well, you should be doing. I go, Ralph, just fix it and make it better. I don't care. Add everything and anything. Right. I don't just do it. I don't want it. Don't worry about it. You don't have to check with me. Just do it. Yeah. And I'm constantly getting text, this new form. I'm like, oh man, this guy knows what he's talking about.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I know you have somebody, but if they don't work out, I'm telling you, I got somebody.
Yeah. It's Joel. So if he doesn't work out, we just won't have him back as a guest.
I'm not talking that company people.
Right.
You're the one who was actually helping you set your stuff up.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have all your stuff up, right? You have on your speaker page, you have a connection form on there that tells you how many people downloaded your sheet and all that stuff.
No, so I do. It goes to MailChimp right now, but that's
no, I didn't know, and that's not. And that's like mine. That's the worst thing, because the MailChimp's not working right. And inside high level, you can do everything inside of it and keep it inside of it and have everything inside of it. You can do your social media calendar inside of it. You can do everything inside a high level. There's no reason for anything else.
What I got to get back with Joel on, because we talked about that, getting off of MailChimp and getting a calendar. Because right now I don't have a Calendly link or anything like that. Because he said, wait, don't do it because it's all on Go High Level.
Yeah, you set up a page. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Landing page. A landing page. Yeah, right. Everything. That's like when we had the guy from High Level come on, and he's Robin. Thank you. He wanted us to schedule. He's like, that was his calendar. It was his it was from High Level. It was just a landing page. I was like, that's it. Wow. Seems so amazing. Because I have like 4 Calendly accounts.
Do you really?
Yeah, because you can't have it branded, each one. You can have your Ed Parcaut, but then you can't have Inner Edison branded. You can't have Hope and the Brave branded with the logo. You can't have the Real Estate Jerky branded. It's all under Ed Parcaut.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So when I send it, I want that little logo to show up, so they know who's doing it. So yeah, that'll all change.
That makes sense.
But anyway, he's really good. I'll keep you guys updated, because I had the other person who said he was going to help me reach out. And I just told him, I said, I ran into another carpet cleaner who got really big into websites and High Level, and it's exactly what we did trade. So
awesome. Hey, and like you said, it's already benefit, because now he's also going to help improve Rotary, or he has helped improve Rotary and everything else. Right? Yeah,
our events are so much better because of it. But here's the thing you got to deal with when you're trying to make things better. People who've been doing it a certain way forever have a problem. And we had a person who's been doing our website and everything for a while, doing it, for not charging us. And I'm like, everybody should be charged. All right. We should be charged. We should be paying for the service, so that people don't go, well, I'm doing a volunteer, I'll get to it. We don't do that with bookkeeping. We don't do that with accounting for our account. We pay for that kind of stuff. We need to pay for this, because it was on somebody else's server. She didn't want this stuff on the server because she was afraid it was going to be, all this. And it's like, just move it to this other server. And finally, I just said, okay, enough is enough. And I'm not trying to bitch about stuff on here, but I'm just saying, understand when you're doing this, a lot of people don't understand what we're doing. And the level that's out there. And luckily I do, from what we've been through and how we've been on here. God, it's almost going to be a year, dude. We're in November on Thursday, and now that'll be 11 months of talking.
Yeah, twice a week.
Oh God, I can get my days back.
That's a lot of talking. I
like my new studio. It's really quiet in here.
Yeah, other than the snoring dogs.
Yeah, but you can't hear them, so I can.
Right.
Yeah, but they need company too.
Yeah. So we were talking about communication. Then what was interesting is going to the 3 events last week. What I'm really seeing a change is people are getting away from the pitch-a-thons. Now, there was one person who made a hardcore pitch for their stuff, but most people are now getting out. And the event we went to in Nashville, I spoke at, the organizer was very clear. You do not pitch the audience. I have told the people who are attending, they're going to walk away with tactical knowledge they can put to use. And if they want to reach out to you afterwards, you can put up a QR code. Don't discuss your mastermind. Don't discuss this. Don't discuss that. And it was true. All the speakers that were there, they would give a QR code. Hey, if you want to book time with me. But nobody went into what normally happens, which is, oh, here's 5 minutes of information. The rest, I'm going to tell you how I'm the smartest person in the world. It was a good way that he vetted the speakers. And the other thing he did, talking about communication networking, is everybody who bought a ticket, he interviewed on the phone to find out what's their business that they're in and what do they need for their business. And then he organized the tables where people sat based on that.
Wow.
So
he actually made the phone call?
He actually made
How many people were at the event?
A couple hundred. I mean, really? he talked to everybody about it. And so that's one of the things he said, is it was exhausting. And people were really surprised. They go, wait, you're the organizer to do this? And for this to be this guy's first event, I posted some pictures of when a lot of people, when he first told them it was going to be in the Wild Horse Saloon, because it's in Nashville, people said, I'm not coming out to a one-day event if it's going to be in a bar. But if you see the pictures that are posted, it looks like a full-on venue. And because it is a constant, on the weekends, they have live bands and everything else. The AV team was incredible. The acoustics were amazing, which is, if you go to a hotel, it's hit or miss, right? Like if the AV team is good and they're there all the time, but you get a bad AV situation, your PowerPoints don't work and the lighting's shit, and then you can't hear the speakers. This was fantastic because they're used to having it all set up, and they just pivoted to making it a speaking event for a day. And at 5 o'clock, they had to wrap up. We went to a VIP thing upstairs, and then they already had the band out there by 6 o'clock with people dancing on the dance floor. So it turned out to be a fantastic venue, just acoustically and visually.
Is that where you rode the bull?
Yeah, no, I rode the bull. We went to let me think, where'd we go? We went to PBR, which was next door. So the event was at Wild Horse
Now, were
Saloon.
you at Nashville for Steve's Speakeasy?
No, that's going to be in New Orleans. Oh,
Oh,
no,
no.
sorry. No, I've only been to
right.
Nashville one other time before this. That was prior to me being in that
That was
group.
prior to San Diego. So
Right.
sorry. That was actually fun, but it was during COVID, and had to wear masks till you got to your table, and then if you left your table, you had to put your mask on.
Well, yes, because there's a height limit with all that.
Well, you're by your people. You're by your people, and you can have the mask off while you're drinking and eating.
Right.
God, those were the days. Those were the days.
Okay. I took a picture of it. I don't think I can show it to you here. When I landed in DFW Airport, the Fridays, and maybe this one I just haven't paid attention to it, has plastic again separating the tables hanging from the ceiling. So they've got the big sheets of plastic, and I don't know if they just never took them down or if they just put them back in, but I've never paid attention and seen that in the airport before. So now I'm just kind of curious.
Elections are coming, so they got to get ready for it.
Yeah. Well, I already see people in the airport, a lot of people who work at the airport and either food service, desk agents, whatever, they're wearing masks again. But this was the first restaurant I saw that had it in there. Like I said, maybe they just never took it down because it's kind of a sound barrier at the same time. But it made me wonder if they just put it back up.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. I don't care.
Right.
But make sure it's not a cloth one that's an N95, because a cloth one doesn't do anything, and the N95 are very uncomfortable. So please wear them.
Oh, yeah. Probably the thing that people gave empathy for is now they understand what it's like for people who have to wear one the entire day because they're in surgery, they're in operating rooms and things like that. And then you realize, oh God, that's pretty uncomfortable, but on to better subjects. The mechanical bull,
networking and communication.
The mechanical bull. Yeah, I hurt in weird places. So definitely should have stretched before I got on there. And then this one was not a well-rounded like saddle. It was more like a piece of paper on a board that was like this. And so, I hurt in weird places.
Board? It wasn't even a bull?
No, it was a bull. But what I'm saying is it was flat like a board and angled instead of, normally they're rounded like a saddle.
Why was it flat?
Just the way they did their bull.
They wanted to really knock you off.
Exactly. They wanted it to hurt in weird places, and which they succeeded because I do. Like yesterday, even getting out of bed, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to go take some Motrin. And I never take a leave Motrin or anything like that. But I was on that crap yesterday.
Yeah, so I just drink.
There you go.
Yeah, makes sense.
I did that too. But, in the morning, it's frowned upon.
So it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Right.
It was a Sunday.
The communication part, several speakers at this event, that's all they focused on is now. And I just saw a video talking about relationship selling is back, where it is based on you. Yes, AI is great. We talk about that quite a bit, but that's how you're going to stand out is, are you using AI? And then after you use it, how are you becoming personal? How are you building relationships with people instead of just, throwing it out to the masses?
Yeah, it's always been relationship selling. If you're transactional, that's you're no one's going to stay with you very long, and you need to be relationship, and that's how. And all the stuff we've been talking about to this point, high level, allows you to be more connections with your client automatically. I mean, to a point where the guy was like, "You have your phone number on all this stuff. I want to move it to the number for high level so they can keep track of it and keep recordings and all this stuff." I'm like, "Hey, whatever you want to do, just do it."
That's the same thing that Joel said. He's like, you need to get a go high level email and a go high level number so that you can keep track of text messages, everything else. It's pretty amazing what the software is out there.
What I liked about it is when you talk to somebody, it keeps the recording of what you spoke about in the thing. So like when I'd call them back, I could always like listen to it. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what we said. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Relive. And also then if they say, you said this, no, I didn't. It's like what we used to say, because it tells them it will be recorded for, whatever that thing is. It automatically tells them, which we did that back in the day when we had so many people in this. Because I was telling somebody else, I created one of the first call centers in the 90s before it was a thing, right? Mm-hmm. It was in our side of our company. It was 25 loan officers in a line, and that was the ding, ding, ding all the way through. And then, it was the funniest. We played video games and then all of a sudden you had that first ring, 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 and it come through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I knew when my postcards were hitting, when they would hit, when people would get home from work and they would start calling right then and there. So,
yeah.
And so, I mean, it's the same thing. You have to be there connected. So,
yes. And going back to the Go High level again, just because it's fresh, they purposely kept it in the same venue as last year because they said they didn't want to get so big they would lose touch with their customers. And so it's not one of those, oh, better hurry up and buy tickets because we're going to sell out. And then the venue's half empty. They literally only have so many hotel rooms. They have the fire safety capacity, and that's the number of tickets they sell. So it was back in the Statler Hotel again. It was run by them, not an outside events company. And everybody that was there loved it. I took a few pictures of it. Their swag was everywhere. People being escorted around. Not a single person I bumped into said they were having a bad time with it all.
So they're going to keep it small again next year, I wonder. I mean, the same size.
We should have Robin back on to talk about what did they learn after this last one. Oh, you know what I did see this year that I did not see last year is they had a tech support room that you could walk into, and it was set up with 8 desks, maybe more, of people that any question you had that you could sit with a live help desk person to help you fix your site while you're there. So if you didn't see anybody on the speaking venues and the breakout sessions that you wanted to see, you could go sit with tech support and they'd work with you for however long you wanted.
Dude, their tech support is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like a Zoom call. And then they're like, okay, well, so-and-so will pick you up. Boom, you go over and it's a Zoom call and you're going through everything. It's really amazing how they have it. And it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's nuts what they've been able to do by doing it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could teach some other companies how to do it.
Yes, they could teach a whole lot of companies how to do it.
CVS.
Yeah, who did I call the other day? I called one and it took me forever to even get to, I called something here with state of Texas, 32-minute wait. And they're like, and you can just wait on hold. There's not even the option for them to call you back. They're like, oh, you're, due to high volume, you're in line, it's 32 minutes to talk to anybody, period.
And they didn't say you could hit one to have a call back and you don't lose yours.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's why I'm fine. Let me leave my number. And of course, it's that paranoia that anytime you leave your number, you can't do anything. Let me not pee. Don't do anything.
Put on mute. Oh, I gotta stop quick.
Yeah. I'm afraid I'm gonna leave my phone out here and then it's gonna ring. I can't get back here fast enough. So it's it was a big pain. But they definitely did things right. All the events I went to last week had little cool perks about them that you look and go, okay, they did this right. At Renee's event, several of the VIPs couldn't make it. And so when he got looking, he goes, you know what? I don't like that this is empty. You guys whoever wants to come up to the VIP. And of course, people rushed up to the front and it's an aesthetics thing because now in all the pictures it's going to look full. But he also didn't have to do that. He could have come around and just said, oh, only certain people, whatever. But I like that they did that. I think people are
getting hurt.
What's that?
I said, did anybody get hurt?
I don't know. I snuck up there early to sit by Amberly Lago. I saw her up there and I said, hey, down in front, joking with her. And she's like, come sit next to me. I'm like, all right. So I was already up there. So I didn't see the chaos. I just heard it behind.
See how he gets along there. Well, the couple of events we used to go to back in the day were huge in Vegas. The dude would throw shit in this, out there. I'm talking stacks of cash, dollar bills, really? Silver dollars and all these different things he would throw out there, and people would freaking run and get hurt. Yeah.
I did see at 2 speakers did this, and it automatically just turns me off towards those speakers, right? And this was at the first event I went to. And that is somebody say, hey, who all here is interested in my program? Okay, raise your hand. Okay, now stand up. All right, now everybody come on up here. And of course, what does it do? Then people are afraid to back out. So they raise their hand. Well, then they feel like, oh, I got to stand up. And then if you go to the front, well, crap. And it's kind of like bullying people into it. I'm fine if you say, if you want to go to the back of the room. But the latest trend I've seen with a few different things, this wasn't the only one, is raise your hand, get up, and come to the front. And then I just feel like that's just being pushy in my mind. It's not for me.
What did they do once they get to the front? Sit in the front Or
No, that's how they signed up for their $5,000 or $10,000 package right then and there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
In
would
front of
just sat
everybody.
my ass back down.
I did that at a different event because they're like, who all's interested? And I raised my hand. They're like, and stand up and go right here. And as soon as they start that, I just put my hand down and sit back down. And they called me out. They said, well, Brian, you had your hand raised. You're not going to go to the back. I said, well, look at the line. I'll go back later and do it.
Ooh, so you didn't even stand up to him.
Nope.
You lied.
I just didn't go back there.
And you should have said, no, I don't like, you should have said, no, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like the way you're doing it. I don't appreciate it. So I get why you're doing it because you guys have to.
Right.
Otherwise, people wouldn't come back here. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's definitely not like a clicks 101. All right, we're going to do this now.
Oh, everybody just beelines to the back.
Oh,
I'll tell you, I was
at your shirt. Get your sweatshirt.
We were at 10X in Miami like 5 years ago, and I think that's the one that he closed like $2 million worth of business in a period of time. He spoke, and when he did, he just rallied up so many people that they all went to the back, and there were huge lines to sign up for ClickFunnels. I mean, he definitely knows how to bring the pizzazz with it all.
Oh yeah, well, that's his whole doing the stack. He teaches that how to do the stack and stack it so that they not only get this, remember you get this with it, and then now you also now here's the stack. You get everything. Now go back there and sign up.
Yep.
Yeah. But a QR code, sign up right now.
People. Yeah. Every event I've ever seen him at, he has an amazing ability to get that done.
If you want to learn how to speak, watch him. Yes.
Well, that's when Alex came out. You said you didn't watch the webinar, or you did?
What webinar?
When Alex released his new book.
No.
He did it, and everybody's like, oh, here comes Russell Brunson. And then people are throwing out, oh, it's going to be 3,000, 5,000, 7,000. And when Alex gave it away for free, the minute he said, oh, this value is worth, and he'd say, this one right here is worth, $5,000. I know several people who dropped right then. They're like, I'm not going to buy anything of that high of a price. Very few people stuck around to figure out that was actually free, because they assumed, based on past experiences, as soon as people start saying, well, you get this that's included, it's worth 2,000. You get this included, it's worth 5,000. You get this that's included. Everybody in their head was doing the mental math. Like I told somebody, oh, it's going to be $19.97. And he ended up giving it away for free. So he built up what a lot of people were expecting and blew them away at the very end with it all being for free.
Yeah. Well, my problem was on Saturdays, I have other things to do.
Sleep?
No, I was freaking. Yeah. So like I remember Rotary. I have something this last Saturday I had a foundation dinner, and it's like till 8:30 at night. It's like, I don't want to be here on Saturday night. It was my wife's birthday on top of it. So yeah, paid for that one.
Oh, Monday was my first day to do absolutely nothing. So, I'd been gone Monday through Saturday, got home, had family stuff to do Saturday, all day Sunday. Monday was my day to just basically chill on the couch, catch up on my TV shows, do absolutely nothing. And then back to the grind again today. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. I hate that statement.
I thought you hated live, laugh, love.
No, I like, it's funny, and then it's not funny.
Yeah. Or hashtag blessed.
No, I don't know that one. Sorry.
Oh God, it's when somebody puts it on social media, you're like, oh, they must be fighting, because it seems to be the one that people put in there whenever they're having disagreements with their loved ones.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's code.
They start over posting about it, and you're like, oh, yeah, that means it's in trouble.
No, I don't know. I only scroll so much, and then I'm done.
Come on, man. It's toilet time. You can figure it out.
No, I don't stay in there forever. I don't justify sitting on there like with a book people do, because that's how you get. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
We're done.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
We went on about communication. We went on about networking. We just talked about your events you were at because you're so popular, and how you speak everywhere now. It's just rubbing that in.
No, because you know what? Now we're going to that lull season. There won't be anything until January. So it's just going to be you and I together.
Oh, my God. Again.
I know. Life's going to be hard.
And we'll talk more about the stuff we're using software-wise and how it's making changes. Because that one we use, which is get Opus Pro or try Opus Clips. Either one of those things. They have the B-roll now. But on top of that, they actually have the Square video for Instagram and LinkedIn now.
See, I don't, and I'm looking because I uploaded a video while we were talking earlier, and when I go to design, I don't think I have those options yet. So I need to get on what you're on. So I see auto. Oh, I do see square now. So you want to use portrait for, it says for
TikTok,
TikTok,
Reels,
Shorts,
YouTube. Yeah.
And then you want to do square for LinkedIn and Instagram. That's interesting. Okay.
So Instagram would then be the normal post. Right. Instead of the other one. So that would come up on your feed versus the other one doesn't show on your feed.
Oh, and I feel special. My auto B-rolls is added. I got added. It's in here now.
It's having major. Yeah. Give it a minute, because save your video the way you like it, and then try the B-roll, because then it does. Sometimes it'll show that it's in there. It'll show the clips, but it doesn't. There's having problems with rendering. So
how are you, once you save it off, we're going to extend this for a minute. So if you save it off as portrait, are you then going back and duplicating it and saving it as
Instagram? So then download it and then go back in and then save it as the other one and then download that one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll have to get in play with it when we're done here.
Because I've even made a little graphic for the bottom. My stuff. Right. So
how are you doing your layout preferences? Are you doing auto? Or are you doing fill, fit? What do you?
Well, it's usually 2 people.
So you're doing split for you. Yeah. Okay.
If it's just me, then I just let it tell me what is best.
Yeah.
Because it was for all day last week. It was just myself on the morning show. And the problem is I was like, wow, this is amazing. I can do this real quick. And then problem with B-roll. I'm like, I don't want to post it without B-roll, because I'll get 5,000 views versus 500 views.
Yeah. It's always so weird how the algorithm works, because I posted one the other day that got like 3,700 views, which is minimal in most cases, but considering most of mine get 300, I was like, okay, what is it about this one?
Was there B-roll?
No, it was before. This is the first time I've ever had the option for B-roll.
I'm telling you, just get more. You're getting, people are finding you more. You're all over the place. Yeah. But the fact that all right, so we'll get out of here and we'll talk after.
Yeah.
Because I got more to talk about, but we could be here another 40 minutes. So
we'll save it for Thursday.
Would you take us out? Because I can't see the click.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching today. The best way you can support us is to go and like Aces 53 on the YouTube page. Subscribe there. Then Ed, thank you for joining today. I'm Brian Galke. So you can find Ed at edparcaut.com or getedsbook.com. And I'm Brian Galke with subtleskills.com. So
we're here at Parcaut everywhere.
That's right. Ed Parcaut everywhere. We're here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Come back, follow us. We'll see you guys later on. Have a great week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.